everybody, this is Jason, Colorado Mountain Man Survival, coming to you from my man cave. Today I'm going to talk to you about items I carry in my survival kit, specifically my top 10 items. So I'm just going to run through them really fast so it won't be too long of a video. First off, I'm going to start off with talking about my top 5 items. If I only had 5 items to choose from, these are the items that I would take with me. Now, everybody's going to be different. You probably may not agree with me. That's great. Sorry. Everybody's going to be a little bit different. Depends on your skill set. It depends on just your personal preference. But these are the items that I would take with me. All right, so the very first item I would take is my knife. It's a quality knife. Something that I'm sure is going to hold up to any abuse I put into it. This is a full tang knife, so which means it's got the metal goes from the edge, the back of the handle, all the way to the tip. So it'll take a beating and it's not going to break. My second item is ferro rod. Starting a fire is very important, so I'm going to get me a good ferro rod. This is a harder steel ferro rod. It takes a little bit more effort to get a spark out of it, but it's not going to break on me like some of the cheaper ferro rods that you can get at your typical department stores. My third item, and I choose this item because this is very difficult to reproduce out in the wild, but I have my clean canteen, a metal canteen. It's single wall. I can boil water in it. I kind of consider these two things as one item because it fits inside the other. So I can purify water with this. I can't necessarily filter water, but I can purify water. I can boil it for 3 minutes and I'll kill any bacteria, viruses that may be in the water. So this is my third item. Item number 4 is a rain poncho. Not just any rain poncho. This is a military poncho. It's fairly good size. It's got grommets in it. I can make a shelter out of this. I can use it obviously to cover myself as a rain poncho, but great item to have. This always goes with me in my kit. There's just really so much I can do with it. I can collect water with it. I can, protect myself from the elements, and that's really the single most important use of this is protecting from the elements. And then item number 5 is kind of a toss-up. Really hard for me to decide if I have my top 5 items. That's kind of what I did here. These are my first 5 items that I would choose in any situation. And the item number 5 is paracord. I typically carry about 200 feet of paracord. There's about 100 feet of paracord here. There's just so much I can do with paracord. Tie up my shelters. I can use it for a tourniquet. I can use it. I can take the center out and use it for fishing line. Just multiple uses. So paracord is my number 5 item. All right. So now I'm going to move on to the next 5 items. These are the items I would choose next. This is the next priority. So number 6. I'm going to take with me a trauma kit. This isn't your standard first aid kit, and you're not going to be able to find something like this in Walmart. Now I know it's a big group of items, but it's all for the same purpose. I got bandages in here. I got tourniquet in here. I got shears in here. This is a trauma kit. It just has a handful of band-aids, but most everything that's in here is for serious wounds or serious injuries. We won't go into it too far in depth, but get yourself a good trauma or medical kit, something beyond your standard first aid kit that you can buy at a store. Let's see, item number 7, I'm going to bring a water filter. My water filter of choice is the Sawyer water filter, because you can get 500,000 gallons of water out of this, so long as you treat it properly and take care of it. It does have a back flush on it, so once this starts slowing down, or every time, maybe at the end of the day, I'm back flush and it flushes all the sediment out of it. So this is my number 7 item. Number 8 is going to be another knife. having a backup to a knife is great. Knives are a very useful tool, so having two is great. And this one is my workhorse. It's a bigger knife than my other one. Again, it's full tang, but I use this one a lot for heavier duty work, for chopping. It is a heavy knife. This is not a lightweight backpacker's knife. I do carry a ferro rod on this knife, a larger ferro rod. If you want, call this an extra item. But even if that wasn't on there, my next item would be another knife. All right, so number 9, my 9th item is going to be a handsaw. This is a silky saw. I can process wood a lot faster with this if I'm building a shelter. Typically, I don't cut firewood. I'm going to just throw the whole darn tree onto the fire. But this really, for anything else, I can speeds up making traps. It speeds up cutting down trees. Just a lot I can do with this knife. And then finally, my last item for my top 10 items is a sleep system. And really this right here is the bulk of my kit for these top 10 items. But, being able to sleep and having good shelter and being well rested is really important. Now, what is in a sleep system, or what sleep system do I carry? Well, mine is the war bonnet. This is in multiple parts here. You can see I've got 3 different things here, but this all comes with the war bonnet sleep system. Being in a cold weather climate, I do have to carry some extra items. So I've got the the war bonnet XLC, the heavier ply, heavier denier with Superfly Rainfly, and then it also I have the under quilt. So basically, it's a sleeping bag that goes underneath the war bonnet, the hammock. Sorry, if you don't know what a war bonnet is, it's a hammock. So I can sleep anywhere. I can sleep on a hillside. I can sleep on the side of a mountain as long as there's trees or something to anchor it to. Having a good, solid, warm sleep system is very important. The only thing that I'm lacking for this sleep system is the overquilt. I've got the winter liner is in here with the war bonnet, the winter top cover. But the top quilt, I'm eventually going to get that. And then, of course, the sleeping bag on the inside is important for the weather that we have out here in Colorado. Having a good shelter is very important. So if I only had 10 items, having a good shelter that I can rely on and that doesn't take me several hours to build, I'm going to go with a war bonnet sleep system. All right, so that's my top 10 items. I have these items in my survival kit all the time. I take them out when I'm teaching classes at a camp. It's in my truck. Every time I go, to the grocery store, my bag comes with me. Obviously, I don't bring it inside, but it's in my truck. When I'm doing long trips, it all comes with me. So these are my top 10 items that go with me at all times. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some extra 5 bonus items. So if you give me 15 items, I can pretty much do anything with them. Let's see. Probably my 11th item is I got a headlamp. I always like shining my light in people's eyes. But anyways, got my headlamp. It's got a red light on it so I can not get blinded at night. Very important tool. Being able to see at night, operate at night is great, but you can also help. This will aid you in hunting in a survival situation. Spotlighting is illegal, but if you were in a survival situation, you can help get yourself some smaller animals with a good headlamp. Next thing is a fishing kit. It's a survival fishing kit, really not much to it, but it does have your standard hooks and sinkers and a few other things. But there are 2 kits here, but I take them both. My next item is going to be my multi-tool. Great for using for traps or just various tasks. I really don't get much use out of this, but when you need something like this, you need it, so it's a good thing to have with you. Let's see, next item I have, where'd it go? Okay, so my machete. It just makes work a lot faster with chopping down trees. Just speed things up quite a bit. And finally, my 15th group of items is my fire kit. Fire is life out there in the woods. So if I can have something like this to help me start a fire, it's going to make things so much easier, so much better. You know, I can stay warm, keep from getting hypothermic. I can cook. I can keep animals away from me. I can signal for help. I can smoke baths, or, you know, there's so much you can do with fire. So, you know, I've got a pretty good fire kit. If you want to know what's in this fire kit, go check out my other video about fire kits, and you'll see everything that I do carry. Now, this is a condensed version of what I put in the fire kit in that other video, but it's basically all the same thing. So those are my items that I take with me in my kit. My full survival kit has probably about 20-25 items, so really not much more than this. But really, with those first 10 items, I'm set. I can do pretty much anything I need to do. I'm not saying that I can live, you know, super comfortably, but I'm going to, you know, live pretty well with those items. So that's it. Hopefully that helps you with putting together a kit on your own. If you have any comments or suggestions, I'm always willing to hear what you have to say. Again, I know everybody's going to be different. A lot of people, you know, their number one item is going to be a firearm. I'm pretty private about my firearms. I don't really like to discuss what I carry or don't carry. You know, I just have to guess with what I've got on me. But anyways, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.